I know how difficult it is to get yourself noticed, whether it is as an interviewer, a band, a photographer, but I usually tend to come up with some crazy ideas because I'm not afraid to do stuff that other people might consider crazy or silly.
Sounds like a band.
Yeah, so when you first started out as a band, what were some of the things you did to get noticed, and how easy or how hard was it for you to do that?
In the beginning, it was very, excuse me, very difficult, obviously, because your ground roots up. You go out there, you flyer. Back in the old school days, like you just do flyers. You get out there, you go and go and go and go, and do it the ground roots way. But more so was like, to us, it was always about being individuals, and like that's kind of what the punk rock thing is, anyways. But we were kind of a sleeve cut of that as well. On top of that, we just kind of did everything we wanted to do, on top of just sounding like a punk rock band or whatever. So we tried to stand out amongst the crowd, even in the punk rock crowd, and just really try and be an individual band and make us think that way, I guess. So that's really one of the biggest things, was just doing what you wanted to do, doing it the way you felt was right, and pushing as hard as you could. And we played like show after show after show, 7 days a week.
It's hard work.
Yeah, you put your work in, for sure.
Yeah. Dan, joining Authority Zero,
Yeah.
how did it all go down? What was your first show with them?
My first show with Authority was on the Flogging Molly cruise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd been playing with a band called the Bunny Gang with Nathan from Flogging Molly, and so these guys knew that I was already going to be out there for that, and so I got a call from Jason, and he asked me if I wouldn't mind filling in for the couple of shows that they were doing on the boat. And so yeah, I think they sent me like 22 songs, and I was learning those.
36.
36.
Wow.
Making little videos that I would send to them, and then Mikey would send me back notes on parts and things like that.
That sucked.
And and then we got together for I think like 3 hours. I flew to Arizona and we had a rehearsal, and then I flew home, and then a week later we were on the boat.
Yeah.
And
It requires a lot of teamwork.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Big time. Especially when you live in different states as well. It's really different and hard to coordinate.
Yeah,
But
you got to communicate well.
big time.
Yeah. But communicating online was really easy with Dan. It was for us not seeing him basically until the boat. It was actually really easy, smooth.
Yeah.
it was right on.
And what's the worst thing, or what's the most horrible thing of living on a tour bus or a van?
That's, well, obviously, as much you want some space. I mean, you're pretty much like married together. It's not even really that, but it's like it's like, hey driver, can you stop after the bathroom? that's a major thing about it, is and also just trying to get comfortable in there and get But I mean, it's not that. It's not. I mean,
Yeah, the real thing, the reality of it is, we're out here living our dream,
Yeah.
playing music.
Yeah.
We started in garages, and we're actually in Slovenia right now. This
In the
beautiful
mountains.
water behind us. It's like, what can you really bitch about?
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, the tiny things are. It's tiny. They're tiny. They're like they don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, like a little thing about living in a van is just keeping it clean. It's
Yeah.
difficult because it's such a small space that if you're not on top of it every single day, your whole next thing you know, you open the fan door and you've got
Piles.
bottles fucking flying out.
30 zeros here. Bottles flying out.
Recycle.
Yeah.
And also,
Other than that, it's
yeah,
it's
you look
easy.
like you're getting along really well,
Well,
everyone.
it's easy with this team
And
too.
yeah, and that's important if you spend so much time together in a bus.
It's knowing each other's mutual respect, and also just what makes each other tick, and just try to stay away from those things. It's
Yeah.
like, everybody has their own
Interesting.
personalities, and I mean it's very hard to do this, but I mean the fact of the matter, I think we've all found our place and our niche of like, okay,
We found our beards.
we found our beers.
found
our true beers, yeah. Mike's is the best.
Yeah.
Jason's is the
The biggest.
No, yeah. It's been pretty intense.
You're planning to grow your beard all the way through the
here's
tour?
thing, so we did this whole thing with this tour. We said, unfortunately, I set out probably about 3 to 4 months before, and so I kind of like screwed myself in this whole position. But it was like a matter of like doing a unity, a collective band like beard thing for the European tour. No shave, no hair, arms, all the things. We talked about it, and it's a thing of like a collective effort band wise rather than just music, I guess, and a love and fun thing.
So punk rock and beards.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Being a band from the States and Europe is it's almost impossible to not end up with a beard when you're touring Europe because the voltages are different on your clippers and stuff. So unless you're gonna actually straight razor shave, it's easier to just let it go. The first year I was out here, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna shave this fucking thing. Plugged in my clippers, I turned them on and they went crack. Started smoking, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? I didn't realize that there was a voltage difference. So
Yeah.
unless you're prepared for that, just fucking let it go.
You're
Man.
stuck with it. Yeah.
Just let it hang out.
Hashtag tourbeards.
Yeah, tour beards. Well, thank you for this chat.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Yeah, have a great tour.
Thank you very much.